Princess Jennifer of the Valtoran Empire had seen 1,000 worlds bend their knee before her father's throne. She had watched species far older than humanity grovel for trade agreements, had witnessed the mighty Kree warriors lower their crests in submission, and had grown accustomed to the Empire's unquestioned dominance across 17 sectors. So when the human delegation arrived at the Imperial Station with their peculiar offer of cultural exchange, she found the whole affair amusing. Humans were newcomers to the galactic stage, barely 3 generations since first contact. They were soft creatures, she'd been told, who died easily and bred slowly, hardly worth the Empire's attention except for their peculiar insistence on diplomacy. The human ambassador brought his apprentice, a young man named Adam, perhaps 20 standard years old, with unremarkable brown hair and eyes that seemed perpetually distant. He stood behind the ambassador during the formal presentation, saying nothing, taking notes on a primitive data pad. An apprentice diplomat, Jennifer remarked to her aide, a Valoran named Kresh. How quaint. They send children to learn statecraft. Kresh's antennae twitched with amusement. Humans mature slowly, Your Highness. Perhaps he's older than he appears. The negotiations were tedious. The human ambassador wanted access to the neutral zone, a region of space the Valorans had declared off-limits after the consumption event 3 cycles ago. Something had emerged from that sector. Something that had devoured an entire colony ship. All 40,000 souls aboard in less than 3 hours. No distress call, no survivors. Just silence. The zone is forbidden, Jennifer stated flatly. Even to us. We don't risk our people there. The ambassador smiled politely. We understand your concerns, Princess, but humanity has certain capabilities that might prove useful in investigating the phenomenon. Jennifer leaned back in her throne. Capabilities. You've been in space for barely a century. What could you possibly offer that an empire with 10,000 years of exploration cannot? For the first time, the apprentice looked up from his datapad. His eyes met hers, and Jennifer felt something cold slide down her spine. Those weren't the eyes of a student or a clerk. They were the eyes of something much older. We're very good at surviving things that want to kill us, Adam said quietly. The ambassador's smile tightened almost imperceptibly. Adam, please. But Jennifer's interest was piqued. Explain. Adam set down his datapad. Earth is a death world, Your Highness. We evolved alongside creatures that still hunt us. Predators with neurotoxic venom, apex carnivores 3 times our size, microscopic organisms that dissolve flesh from the inside. We survived ice ages, supervolcanoes, plagues, and our own weapons of mass destruction. He paused. We didn't reach the stars because we're stronger or smarter than other species. We reached them because we're too stubborn to die. Kresh's antennae flattened against his skull, a Valtoran gesture of unease. Bold words, Jennifer said, from an apprentice. He's not an apprentice, said a new voice. Everyone turned. Commander Thex of the Krexa battle fleet stood in the doorway, his massive form blocking the light. The Krexa were the Empire's most feared warriors, 8 feet of scaled muscle and calculated violence. Thex had personally led the purge of the rebellion worlds. He was staring at Adam. Commander? Jennifer asked. Thex's throat sacs pulsed with rapid, shallow fear. That human. I know him. He was on Terrifies 4. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. Terrifies 4 had been a black site, a classified military research station on the edge of Imperial space. It had gone dark 6 months ago. The Empire had sent Thex and his battalion to investigate. There were things there, Thex continued, his voice unsteady. Experiments. Biological weapons the researchers had created from samples recovered from dead worlds. They'd escaped containment. 40 of my warriors went into that station. His eyes never left Adam. I was the only one who came out because of him. Jennifer stood slowly. Explain. Now. Adam's expression remained neutral. I was a consultant. The Empire's scientists had miscalculated. They'd awakened something that shouldn't have been awakened. Something that didn't die when you shot it, burned it, or exposed it to vacuum. He went into the darkness, Thex said, and his voice held something Jennifer had never heard from a Krexa warrior. Reverence. While my soldiers fell around us, while I watched the best fighters in the galaxy torn apart by things that moved faster than our targeting systems could track, he walked forward empty-handed. And those things? Fex paused. They moved away from him like prey sensing a greater predator. Jennifer looked at the human ambassador. You brought a weapon to my station. We brought a specialist, the ambassador corrected gently. One of our Apex response specialists. We don't send them often, and we don't advertise their existence. But when something in the dark needs to be dealt with, we send people like Adam. I don't understand, Jennifer said. His one man, unarmed. How? Because fear is universal, Adam interrupted. Every predator recognizes something more dangerous than itself. Humans learned that lesson over hundreds of thousands of years. We learned to hunt the hunters, to become the thing that even apex predators avoid. He met her eyes again. Whatever's in the neutral zone, it's operating on the same ancient calculus. And if it's as dangerous as you believe, you need someone who speaks that language. For a long moment, silence filled the chamber. Finally, Jennifer spoke. The Empire will grant your request. You may enter the neutral zone. She looked at Adam. And I apologize for calling you an apprentice. Adam smiled, a small, tired expression. No offense taken, Your Highness. We prefer people to underestimate us. It makes the job easier. As the human delegation departed, Kresh leaned close to Jennifer. Do you think he can truly face what's out there? Jennifer watched Adam's retreating back, remembering those ancient, patient eyes. I think, she said softly, I'm more worried about what's out there having to face him.